Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the privatization bill, National Assembly Bill number 36 of 2025, be now read a third time. And I also request the Honorable Naomi Wako to second. But before she seconds, Honorable Speaker, allow me to thank members who burnt not the midnight oil, but at least up to 9 p.m. last evening to finalize conclusion of this very important bill. And Honorable Speaker, as we say during the second reading, this bill comes at a very timely time in the history of our country. The fact that this bill is coming at a time when the initial bill had been nullified by the courts on account of public participation. This bill went through immense public participation by the Committee on Public Debt and the Committee on Finance and National Planning, Honorable Speaker. And besides the public participation, Honorable Speaker, I'm speaking about public participation because I've had people say that state investments or state corporations are being sold without public participation. And one of the amendments that was proposed by the committee yesterday in Committee of the Whole House was a new clause 36A that obligates that even a privatization proposal, besides the privatization program, even the privatization proposal must now be approved by Parliament, so that even in law now we will have active public participation right from the proposal to the program. A new clause 76 that also amended the Public Finance Management Act also obligates government, again, Honorable Speaker, because those who have been speaking out there, and I have in mind the Wiper leader, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, because I have heard the Wiper leader say that we do not know where this money is going. I have heard the minority leader, deputy minority leader, Honorable Robert Mbui, say in press conferences, we do not know where this money is going to go to. The new clause 76, amending the PFM Act, obligates that any sale of shares will go to the consolidated fund. So those who are just speaking out there, Honorable Speaker, must know that now we are obligated by law that all this money, even what was in the bill was amended by the committee, that you cannot even have a special account that was interest bearing to then later transfer within 90 days to the consolidated fund. See if the member for Naivasha would be in the house, or the member for Kajiado North, who I saw addressing a press conference out here on the IPO of Kenya Pipeline, but none of them were there. And you can see even now they are not here, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the new clause 76 also speaks to the dilution of shares in state corporations.
Point of order? What's your point of order?
And it must be a point of order, not just a nuisance, Honorable
Thank
Speaker.
you, Honorable Speaker. Is it of our colleagues criticizing that they didn't bring the amendment? An amendment can be brought by will. Maybe they didn't want to bring. It's also part of protest. They are protesting out there, and they are protesting by leaving that amendment so that you do it the way you know.
What is the point of order there now, Honorable Speaker? That is a point of argument.
You're out of order.
Honorable Speaker, you know, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Anjikumbo here, because she was also not in the House. I was only mentioning those members who shout out there in funerals, in street rallies, but they are not there when you are doing legislation. Even yourself as a member for Kipipiri, you are not here. And you even have no idea what this privatization bill is speaking about. You have no idea what shares dilution is. You are blank. You have no idea on anything. Honorable
Majority
Wanjiku
Leader,
Muya.
let's proceed. Proceed, Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I was saying my last point was on shares dilution. Because part of the privatization, Honorable Speaker, speaks to dilution of shares in state corporations. And we have made sure that today, if the state is even to dilute shares in any state corporation, for instance, we own, I think, about 35% of Safaricom. If the state wants to dilute that shareholding from 35% to 25%, Honorable Speaker, that now
Madam
we also
Speaker,
obligate the House.
Is it in order for
sure.
Majority Leader to say member for Kipipiri was not there while I was seated right there and I even received the response for my statement on the roads? Is it in order for this leadership to be speaking of certain members of my group that they are not in the House to try to tell their constituencies that the members are not the House? I'm in the House now. Why is this leadership forming this tradition to try to incite the constituencies about the members who subscribe to Amunyoro? It is one term.
Honorable Muya, you have made your point. I think proceed to
Honorable
move.
Speaker, Honorable Speaker.
Restrain ourselves to the moving of the...
Honorable Speaker, I was saying if you are to dilute shares, and I want Honorable Wanjiku Muya to listen to me. If you are to dilute shares, dilution is reducing in layman's language. If you are to reduce the shareholding of Safaricom today from 35% to 25%, we have now obligated with an amendment in a new clause 76, an amendment to the PFM Act, that even that dilution in a state-linked corporation, because some are quasi-private, but the state has a link because the state holds shares. If you are to do that, Parliament must also now approve. That tells you that for any sale of any government investment, you cannot do it without the express approval of the National Assembly on behalf of the people of Kenya. That is part of the public participation, Honorable Speaker, that we are obligated, because when you involve the National Assembly, we are again obligated by the Constitution to make sure that in any of the processes that we do, we involve the public, and therefore public participation will be integral in the dilution, in the sale of any state investments, Honorable Speaker. And with that, I beg to move, Honorable Speaker, that we do read this privatization bill for a third time and request Honorable Naomi Wako, who was with me here up to 9 p.m. And I have no apologies, Honorable Speaker, when I say that members are not in the House. Honorable Wanjiku Muya was not here. Honorable Kibagendi was not here. The member for Kajiado was not here. Robert Mbui was not here. They are not all here. Even that rudderless, clueless, visionless group, none of them were here. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.